I'm Diego Sanchez, president of HousingWire, and this is a HousingWire Instant Impact. I'm thrilled to be joined by Ryan Peterson, president of Grid151. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, good afternoon.
So good to have you on. Ryan, let's start with the basics. What is Grid151?
So Grid151 offers fulfillment services to title agents, and we do so powered by technology called Gridbase. And so we also offer that technology on a retail basis, both to title agents and to mortgage lenders.
And how did you come up with that name?
Everybody asked that. So we wanted the name to be Grid, some iteration of the name Grid, kind of conveying the concept of like we're powering your title business or empowering the mortgage business. So plug into the grid. But there were 0 versions of the name Grid available as relates to a domain name or any trademark protection. So we wanted to throw in something else. It was actually my wife's idea. I've used the certain orange color in every single logo for all the businesses that I've created over the years. And it happens to be Pantone 151. And so we just threw it in Grid with 151, which is a Pantone color. And that color is in the logo. And there you go.
I love that origin story for the name. So tell us a little bit about your journey in the title industry and how that led you to create Grid151.
Sure. So I got into the title business probably like almost everybody I know in the title business. It was sort of an accident. So 2 years after college, I was thinking about going to law school. But was sick and tired of being broke and wasn't excited to go to law school and be broke for another 3 years. So I took a job selling title insurance when rates were slowly going from sort of the 8s into what would eventually become the 6s, which is big news back then. And I found out I was not a great employee, frankly, and that I had bigger vision and sort of a grander plan for the agency than the guy who actually owned the agency. So I branched out on my own and started a company in late 2002, which was a national title agency. So I was in the national agency business all the way through late 2015. And I had the concepts of, every national agent is essentially building workflows and systems and kind of other fulfillment solutions for themselves. And the thought was, what if a title insurance underwriter built those things in a centralized way and assisted agents by managing their agency for them and some other things? And so I left the agency side of the business and joined Westcor, which is the largest independent title insurance underwriter, to really bring some of those concepts to life at Westcor. And pretty quickly thereafter, I spun off and we created Grid151 as a totally separate sister company to the underwriter. So now we're owned by a company called Ardan Inc. And Ardan has Westcor, the underwriter, and Grid151 and Gridbase, and a data analytics company called X1.
So you had that entrepreneurial itch. How are you differentiating Grid151 from your competitors?
Sure. So in a lot of ways, I would tell you this. The title space is interesting. There's about 14 to 15,000 title insurance agents in the country, and that's not including escrow officers or escrow companies. That's not including law firms that also offer title insurance or do closings. And I think what differentiates us is that we're solving some of these fulfillment and technology and connectivity issues from the inside out. You get a lot of, we meet a lot of folks, especially in the technology side, where some kind of, young founder does his or her first closing and they sort of say like, oh, that was inefficient. I'm going to go raise a bunch of VC money and solve that problem. I'm going to disrupt that industry. But it's a really, I guess title people always say this, but it is a tough industry to learn. It's as much art as it is science. A lot of times, title people learn how to clear title and do those kinds of things over many years of experience. And so the fact that we are title people solving title issues from the inside of the industry and not from outside the industry, that doesn't sound very earth shattering, but that's a big deal. And so by way of example, with Gridbase, our tech stack, I'm a title person. I've been in title my entire career, and I was an agent. So, like a guiding principle of Gridbase is that the tech has to create collaboration opportunities between mortgage lenders and title agents, but do so in such a way that solves the lender's issues, but does not harm the title agent or cost them undue workflow or time or resources and those kinds of things. That perspective changes everything. And our clients, both lenders and title agents, appreciate that perspective a lot.
Can you tell me a little bit more about Gridbase? What exactly is it? Is it a platform? What are you working on there?
Sure. So we call Gridbase the universal API for lender and title collaboration. So in its simplest form, Gridbase is an API middleware between lenders and title agents. And the challenge is that lenders, rightfully so, they want to stay on their loan origination system and they never want to leave. Every time they leave to go somewhere else, it's inefficient and it kind of breaks their workflow. And certainly if they leave their loan origination system and go to email, that's like a workflow and a compliance and a risk sort of disaster. Conversely, title agents, all 14 or 15,000 of them, they're living inside a title production system. And they never want to leave their title production system. And again, when they do, it decreases efficiency. It's a workflow issue. It's a risk issue. So what we did is built an API bidirectional integration between all of the major title production systems and the loan origination systems. So the lender can stay in their LOS and not have to leave. The title agent can stay in their TPS or title production system and not have to leave. But there's bidirectional order management and other, fees and updates and other things going between the two systems. So we call it collaboration. It's not just a connection. There are other platforms that offer a connection, but we truly are seeing results. And I mean, with our lender clients that use Gridbase and the title agents that they work with, they're seeing improved efficiency, decreased loan cycle times, and certainly decreased sort of openness and risk of fraud due to emails and those kinds of things.
So is your main customer for that the lender?
So we have really two main customers, lenders, and we have lender-facing sales efforts and a lender-facing sales team. The experience for the lender is essentially from the perspective of their LOS, but then we also have title agents, our main customer, just as much. And so we have a title agency facing sales team in a kind of a different persona for title agents. We really have to treat them differently because lender issues are different and they're sitting on a loan origination system. So they've got certain needs and desires, and then our title agents. But, interestingly enough, our lender clients introduce us to title agents and our title clients introduce us to lenders. And then we help them collaborate. So it kind of works doing it that way.
Yeah, that's really neat. Is the managed service platform focused more on the title agents?
100%. Yep. So the services side of Grid151 and the managed service platform, that really is a way that we can help put people into the title business and then manage their title business for them. And we do so, it's all powered by Gridbase. That's actually how we started Gridbase. We started it for ourselves and our managed service agents. It was really just our in-house tech stack that our managed agents sit on. But frankly, we started to see the benefit and the workflow benefits and the efficiency and compliance benefits. And we decided to sort of spin it off and make a retail play out of it, which is how we got Gridbase.
You mentioned this before. There are several tech companies claiming to disrupt in the title space. How is Grid151 actually disrupting in the title space?
Yeah, so I think it's it has literally been a challenge. It's this ubiquitous challenge in the industry that the lender, who really drives the business. Some would say in a purchase transaction, it's the realtor, and lenders are looking for those realtor leads and realtor relationships. We believe the lender is central to the process. Realtors are phenomenal and excellent, and no, we don't think they're going away anytime soon. We think they play a significant and valuable role in the transaction, as do title agents. But that collaboration between the parties is really broken and fractured. You can imagine on a purchase transaction, for example, the major real estate brokerages build their own tech stack, which is usually proprietary, which they think is the best in the world. They put a lot of money and resources into making it great. The lenders are doing the same thing, either in their loan origination system or their point of sale or their other systems. And the title industry is doing the same thing. And so everybody's got their system of record that's vitally important to their business. And frankly, they all think theirs is the best. And they all put tens or hundreds of millions of dollars into making it the best. And so we kind of feel like we are, again, from inside the industry and with the unique perspective of having been title agents for a long time and thinking local title agents are the best at doing real estate closings, we're solving this sort of annoying little kind of boring problem of just integrations. And so you put these hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of investment into these tech platforms, but really, what the industry did was accidentally created these like technology silos. Solving that integration is just sort of like a painstaking, detail-oriented, like boring little business. But we're doing it with a whole lot of passion and a whole lot of understanding of how the real estate transaction and the closing in particular works. And so when we talk to a lender or a title agent and find out how much time we're saving on a transaction basis for a really fair and reasonable cost, I kind of shy away from saying we're disrupting anything because it's such an overplayed term, but we really are changing the workflow and changing the efficacy of the lender's interaction and communication with title agents. We feel really good about it.
And what does your product roadmap look like in 2025 and beyond?
Yeah, so it's twofold. We're really in kind of early days. So 2025 will be like year 4 for Grid-based. So it's just go to market, like pedal to the metal on going to market. But from a product perspective, like I said, there's 14 to 15,000 title agents in the marketplace, and we think every one of them is valuable, whether it's the 2-person shop, 10 miles from a stop sign, or whether it's the hundreds of employees national agency. And so making sure the technology is available to any title agent of any size is really important to us. So the product roadmap is oftentimes full of how do we get what we think is world-class technology that's going to change an entire industry by way of just really, really elegant integrations. But how do you get that into the hands of every title agent from the largest to the smallest? That brings some challenges. Frankly, there's some smaller title production systems that we haven't connected with yet that we still want to. That local title agent that's doing sort of 1 or 2 purchases every month with a lender, we don't want them to be blocked from what we believe is world-class technology. So that's a big focus of the roadmap.
Go to market is really exciting. How can folks watching us today learn more about Grid151?
Yeah, so grid151.com is a great place to start. Gridbase.io is the Grid-based website, another great place to start. We've got an active LinkedIn presence. We're at conferences and trade shows, and we're in go-to-market phase, and you know what that's like. So we're trying to be out there kind of all over the place. But honestly, gridbase.io is the best place to go to start. You can see demos, you can look at product samples, and talk to a member of the team.
Ryan, it's been so great catching up with you today. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you. I appreciate it.